The one body language sign she's attracted to you, psychology tricks. Love doesn't need loud words. Sometimes it's hidden in the smallest movements. Have you ever been in that moment where you're thinking, is she just being polite or is there something more? A smile can be friendly. A quick glance can mean nothing. Even playing with her hair can be a habit. And that's exactly why so many men get confused. But there's one body language sign that's far more reliable than the usual signals people talk about because it doesn't happen by accident. The one sign she's truly attracted to you. She leans in and stays there, not just a quick move because the room is loud, not a polite step closer for a second. I'm talking about when she naturally reduces the distance between you and keeps that closeness comfortable, what it looks like in real life. When you're talking, her upper body angles towards you, not away. She stays close even when she doesn't need to. If you shift slightly, she subtly follows, like your space feels safe to her. Her feet and torso point toward you because the body often tells the truth before the mouth does. Why this matters? Psychology trick. Here's the simple psychology. People move toward what they want and away from what they don't. Attraction isn't just in what she says, it's in what her body chooses when she isn't thinking too hard. When a woman is drawn to you, her body often votes for you by closing the gap. It's a quiet signal that says, I'm comfortable with you, I want more of you in my space. A quick test you can use. Next time you're talking, shift your position slightly, nothing dramatic. If she's interested, you'll often notice she reorients toward you again within a few seconds. And that's the key, consistency. One move means nothing, but repeated leaning in, that's a message. 1. Eye contact. Eye contact is the quiet signal most men overlook, yet it is often the clearest sign she feels drawn to you. Attraction rarely announces itself loudly. It prefers subtlety. And when a woman is interested, her eyes speak long before her words do. Don't search for dramatic gestures or exaggerated flirtation. Be attentive instead. When she holds your gaze just a little longer than normal, that is not an accident. That is instinct. It feels different from a polite glance or a casual look. Her eyes linger with warmth, curiosity, and a gentle pull that says she wants to understand you, not just see you. This is where female psychology quietly reveals itself. Her gaze softens. Her eyebrows lift almost imperceptibly. Her pupils may widen just enough to create a sense of openness that draws you in without effort. If you notice her looking at you, then briefly looking away, then returning to your eyes again moments later, don't misread that as uncertainty. Be calm. That brief break is often a test. It is a way of maintaining connection while gauging your response. This is one of those psychology tricks that works precisely because it is unconscious. Women do not rehearse this behavior. They feel it. When she looks at you with a playful edge or a teasing spark, that is attraction mixed with comfort. That combination matters. Desire without comfort fades quickly. Desire with ease builds momentum. You may feel your heart rate subtly shift even before the conversation deepens. Her gaze creates a silent dialogue. It happens beneath logic and language. You must understand that eye contact is not only about attraction, it is also about trust. Sustained eye contact signals safety, openness, and emotional presence. When she laughs at something you say and keeps her eyes locked on yours, that is attention with intention. That is her saying you matter in that moment. In female psychology, attention is currency. She is spending it on you. Even in casual environments, when she listens to you and meets your eyes instead of scanning the room, that is investment. That is engagement. Don't dismiss it as friendliness too quickly. Be aware. Attraction often hides behind familiarity. When her eye contact is paired with a slight lean toward you, a tilted head, or subtle mirroring of your posture, the signal becomes stronger, not louder, stronger. Her body aligns with her interest. This alignment is rarely conscious, yet deeply revealing. The real secret is not how long she looks at you. It is how she looks at you. A gaze filled with softness, warmth, and a quiet spark can communicate intimacy without pressure, desire without demand, curiosity without words. That quality of gaze is difficult to fake and easy to feel. In group settings, this becomes even more telling. If she finds your eyes across the room while speaking to someone else, holds your gaze just a fraction longer than necessary, and allows a subtle smile to linger, that is deliberate. That is her creating a private moment in a public space. Don't overthink it. Don't rush it. Be grounded. Attraction grows where awareness meets patience. Many men miss these signs because they expect attraction to follow rigid rules or dramatic cues. Female psychology works through nuance, through rhythm, through feeling. Understanding how to fall in love begins not with control, but with perception. Love does not start with words. It starts with attention. Attention often starts with the eyes. If you train yourself to notice these small but consistent patterns, lingering looks, repeated glances, softened focus, you will stop guessing and start sensing. This is where psychology tricks stop being manipulation and become understanding. The goal is not to force connection, but to recognize it when it appears. When you respond calmly, confidently, and without urgency, you amplify attraction naturally. Presence invites presence. Awareness invites depth. If you want to understand how to fall in love in a way that feels grounded and mutual, you must learn to read what is already being offered, quietly, subtly, honestly, through her eyes. In female psychology, attraction is rarely hidden. It is simply whispered. The man who listens does not chase, he connects. That is the difference between confusion and clarity, between missed chances and meaningful moments. When you understand this, psychology tricks become insight. Female psychology becomes familiar rather than mysterious, and how to fall in love becomes less about strategy and more about seeing what is already there, waiting to be noticed. 2. Mirroring behavior. Mirroring behavior is one of those quiet signals of attraction that almost feels invisible unless you know how to spot it, because it operates below logic, below intention, and far below words. Most men miss it entirely because they expect attraction to be loud, direct, or dramatic. Don't make that mistake. Be observant. Mirroring happens when a woman, without realizing it, begins to reflect your gestures, your movements, your rhythm, and even the way you speak. It is not imitation in the obvious sense. That would feel forced. This is something softer, more natural, more revealing. When she mirrors you, she is not copying you. She is aligning with you. That is the key difference. If you cross your legs and she does the same a moment later, that is not coincidence. If you lean forward and she subtly follows, that is not random. It is her subconscious saying, I feel safe here. I feel connected. And that is where attraction quietly begins to take shape. This kind of alignment is her way of tuning into your presence, almost like adjusting a radio frequency until the signal becomes clear. Be calm when you notice it. Don't call it out. Don't test it. Just recognize it. Mirroring is her internal mechanism for building rapport and emotional comfort. In simple terms, it is her body saying yes before her mind catches up. People are naturally drawn to those who feel familiar, and familiarity is built through shared patterns. That is why mirroring feels magnetic. It lowers distance. It increases ease. It creates that sense of we're on the same wavelength without either person needing to explain anything. This is one reason why a high-value man often attracts attention without effort. He does not chase reactions. He allows alignment to happen. What makes mirroring even more fascinating is how subtle it can be. Sometimes it shows up in the smallest details. She takes a sip of her drink shortly after you do. She adjusts her posture to match yours. She adopts similar phrasing during conversation, using your words almost like an echo. These are not rehearsed behaviors. They happen automatically. Be aware of patterns, not isolated moments. One gesture means little. Repeated alignment means something. That repetition is where interest reveals itself. This is how women often attract women, through comfort, familiarity, and shared emotional rhythm rather than direct signals. Mirroring is not limited to the physical. It also lives in emotional energy. If you speak with enthusiasm, she may rise to meet it, her expressions becoming brighter, her tone more animated. If you are calm and grounded, She may soften, slow down, and settle into that same emotional space. That synchronization matters. It shows she is not just listening, but feeling alongside you. That is intimacy in its earliest form, not physical, emotional, energetic. This is masculine energy at its most effective, not forceful, not performative, grounded, steady, inviting. Be clear about this. When a woman mirrors your emotional state, she is investing attention. Attention is not given lightly. When she aligns her reactions with yours, she is saying without words, I care about how this feels. That is attraction forming in real time. You might notice how her laughter begins to match your rhythm, how her pauses mirror yours, how conversations start to flow without effort. That ease is not accidental. It is created through alignment. This is how people begin to feel close without ever declaring it. And often, that unspoken closeness is far more powerful than any verbal confirmation. Another important thing to understand is that mirroring often grows stronger as comfort increases. Early on, it may be barely noticeable. A small posture shift, a shared gesture. As trust builds, the alignment becomes more consistent. Her movements, expressions, and emotional responses start to sync more clearly with yours. Don't rush this process. Be patient. Chemistry reveals itself gradually. When mirroring becomes frequent, the connection becomes undeniable. That invisible thread between you tightens, not through pressure, but through presence. This is also why men who understand mirroring often attract women without trying to impress them. A high-value man does not force engagement. He allows it. He remains steady in his behavior, which gives her something stable to align with. Masculine energy works best when it is calm and self-contained. That steadiness invites harmony, and harmony invites attraction. If you want to attract women naturally, you must focus less on doing and more on being consistent. Pay attention to how interactions feel rather than how they look. When mirroring is present, conversations feel effortless. Time passes quickly. Silence feels comfortable instead of awkward. That is alignment doing its work. Don't interrupt it by overanalyzing. Be present. Be grounded. Let the connection breathe. This is not about strategy. It is about awareness. Psychology is only useful when it helps you see what is already happening. Mirroring is one of the clearest indicators that attraction is growing, yet it remains one of the least discussed. That is because it does not shout, it whispers. It lives in movement, timing, and shared rhythm. Once you learn to notice it, you will stop guessing. You will start sensing. And when you sense alignment, respond with calm confidence. Don't escalate too fast. Don't pull away out of doubt. Be steady. That steadiness reinforces attraction. In the end, mirroring is not about control or technique. It is about connection. It shows you when someone is emotionally present with you. When you recognize it and remain grounded in your masculine energy, you naturally become more attractive without effort. That is what sets a high-value man apart. He does not chase signals. He understands them. He allows attraction to unfold at its own pace. And when mirroring appears consistently, you can trust that the chemistry between you is real, growing, and quietly powerful. If this resonated with you, drop a comment right now. I recognize attraction when it reveals itself. Then, like this video, subscribe for more psychological edge and remind yourself daily, attraction doesn't shout, it aligns. 3. Playing with hair. Playing with her hair is not a random habit. It is not nervous fidgeting, and it is never meaningless movement. It is one of the clearest and most reliable body language signals of attraction that a man can learn to recognize if he has the discipline to observe instead of guess. When a woman touches, twirls, smooths, flips, or tucks her hair while interacting with you, she is revealing something her words may never say out loud. Psychology has long confirmed that hair is deeply tied to identity, femininity, and emotional expression, which is why these gestures surface when attraction is present and the mind feels a mix of excitement and anticipation. As Carl Jung once said, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens, and that is exactly what hair play represents. An outward movement driven by an inner emotional spark. a quiet signal that says attention has been captured, curiosity has been triggered, and energy is flowing toward you. When she twirls a strand around her finger, brushes it behind her ear while holding your gaze, or lightly runs her fingers through it during conversation, she is soothing nervous excitement while simultaneously drawing your focus to her face, her expressions, and her presence. This is where men rooted in Old Stoic wisdom separate themselves from men who chase signals blindly. The disciplined man does not react impulsively. He observes calmly, he understands the meaning, and he responds with grounded confidence, not neediness, not rush, and not hesitation. In modern life, where distractions are endless and attention is the most valuable currency, these subtle gestures are how attraction survives beneath the noise. They often appear unconsciously, and that matters, because authentic signals always come from the subconscious, not from strategy or performance. She is not trying to impress you in a calculated way. She is simply responding to how she feels around you. That is power if you know how to read it. Attraction grows strongest in spaces of safety, presence, and calm authority. The same traits emphasized by Stoicism win philosophies that teach mastery of self before mastery of situation. Notice how the gesture changes with intensity. Gentle, absent-minded twirling suggests comfort and openness. More deliberate smoothing or flipping suggests heightened awareness and a desire to be seen. When paired with eye contact, a softened smile, a slight lean forward, or a melodic shift in her voice, the message amplifies without a single word spoken. It becomes a silent conversation that rewards men who are patient and composed. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, which means if your thoughts are steady, confident, and present, her signals will grow clearer, stronger, and more frequent. In group settings, this becomes even more telling. If she adjusts her hair after locking eyes with you across the room, she is creating a private channel of connection while keeping the moment subtle. And subtlety is where attraction thrives. It allows mystery to breathe and curiosity to expand. This is where modern men must relearn restraint. Reacting too fast collapses tension. Staying grounded strengthens it. This is where iron mind discipline comes into play. Hold your posture. Maintain relaxed eye contact. Speak with intention. Let her signals unfold naturally without forcing momentum. Attraction is not built by chasing signs. It is built by becoming the man who naturally invites them. Hair gestures also pull attention to the face, enhancing expressions and making every smile feel more intimate. When she brushes her hair back while leaning in, she is closing distance emotionally and physically, creating a shared moment that rewards presence over performance. The man who understands this does not overthink. He does not freeze and he does not rush. He stays centered, confident, and responsive. This is why men who live by Old Stoic wisdom often appear effortlessly attractive. They are not seeking validation. They are offering calm certainty. And certainty is magnetic. Remember this, the gesture itself is not the prize, it is the invitation. The correct response is not words, but energy. Calm energy, grounded energy, iron mind energy. Women respond to how a man makes them feel in the moment more than what he says. When you recognize hair play for what it is, you stop guessing and start understanding. You stop chasing and start leading. You stop reacting and start choosing. That is the essence of Stoicism when thinking in the modern world. Mastery is quiet. Confidence is felt. Attraction flows toward the man who stands firmly in himself, present, observant, and unshaken. Victory in life, connection, and purpose always begins with self-command. And the man who masters this masters far more than attraction. He masters his path. 4. Smiling and laughing. Smiling and laughing may look simple on the surface, but they are some of the clearest and most revealing signs of attraction a woman can show. Once you understand them through the lens of female psychology, you begin to realize how powerful these moments truly are. When a woman is genuinely interested, her smile is not a reflex or a social habit. It is a response. It is directed. It carries emotion, and it is intentional. You must learn to notice the difference between a polite smile she offers the world and the kind of smile she gives when she feels drawn to one specific man. That smile lingers, it softens her face, it reaches her eyes, it creates an openness that cannot be rehearsed or faked. When she looks at you and smiles as if she momentarily forgets everything else around her, that is not random. That is connection forming in real time. Do not dismiss it as friendliness too quickly. Attraction often hides in plain sight, especially in how freely she expresses joy around you. Notice how her lips curve naturally when your eyes meet. Notice how her expression brightens when you speak. Notice how her body subtly follows that emotion by leaning in, tilting her head, or holding eye contact just a second longer than necessary. These details matter. Laughter deepens this signal even further. When a woman laughs easily with you, especially at small or ordinary remarks, she is not just responding to humor, she is responding to how you make her feel. That is one of the oldest psychology tricks the human mind plays. We associate the feeling of enjoyment with the person who triggered it. Her laughter is her body's way of saying she feels good in your presence, safe enough to relax, comfortable enough to open up, curious enough to want more. Pay attention to the quality of that laughter, not just the fact that it happens. Light, quick, effortless laughter that comes without hesitation signals emotional ease and genuine engagement. Laughter that grows more frequent as the conversation continues signals momentum. Interest is building, chemistry is warming up. Do not ignore how this creates a feedback loop. When she smiles and laughs, you naturally relax. Your shoulders drop, your voice steadies, your confidence rises without effort. That shift in you feeds directly back into her experience. She feels it, and it encourages her to open up even more. This is how attraction grows quietly. This is the invisible rhythm where two people begin moving in sync without consciously trying. Many men miss this signal because they look for grand gestures. They wait for obvious declarations. But attraction rarely starts loud. It starts subtle. It whispers before it speaks. You must be attentive enough to hear it, especially in group settings. Notice if her laughter keeps finding you. Notice if her attention circles back to you even when others are present. Notice if her reactions feel slightly brighter when you are involved. That is not coincidence. That is selection. Subtle variations carry meaning. A shy smile caught across the room suggests curiosity and intrigue. A wide grin shared during a private joke suggests comfort and playful warmth. Sometimes she adds small gestures without realizing it. She may cover her mouth lightly when she laughs. She may lean closer as if pulled in. She may angle her body toward you without thinking. These micro behaviors reduce distance. They increase intimacy. They are central to female psychology because they reveal alignment. Her emotional state mirrors yours. Her energy responds to yours. Understanding these psychology tricks helps you avoid unnecessary self-doubt. Genuine smiles and laughter are incredibly difficult to fake over time. Forced expressions lack warmth. They lack timing. They lack that unmistakable spark in the eyes. Your intuition often notices this difference before your logic does. Trust it. Do not overanalyze every moment, but do not ignore the pattern either. Be present, be observant, be calm. Attraction grows best when it feels natural, not examined under pressure. Remember this, smiling and laughing are not just reactions, they are invitations. They quietly say, I enjoy this. They say, I want this to continue. They say, I feel something here. When you recognize that, you stop chasing approval. You start responding to connection. That shift is crucial in how to fall in love in a grounded and healthy way. Love does not begin with dramatic moments. It begins with comfort, with ease, with shared joy repeated over time. When a woman consistently shows that joy around you through her expressions, her laughter, and her relaxed presence, she is communicating more than words ever could. Understanding this does not require manipulation or performance. It requires awareness, emotional intelligence, and respect for subtle signals. That is why mastering psychology tricks is not about control. It is about clarity. When you see clearly, you move differently, you listen better, you respond instead of react. You allow attraction to unfold instead of forcing it. That understanding of female psychology, when applied with patience and authenticity, becomes one of the most powerful guides in how to fall in love without pressure, without confusion, and without missing the signs that were there all along, smiling at you, laughing with you, quietly waiting to be noticed. If this opened your eyes, don't just watch and move on. Like the video, subscribe for more psychology insights, and join the conversation below. Comment this sentence to lock it in and remind yourself what to look for. Real attraction shows up when her smile reaches her eyes and her laughter finds me. 5. Physical proximity. Physical proximity is one of the clearest body language signals of attraction, yet it often goes unnoticed because it doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers, it nudges, it shows up in small, almost invisible decisions a woman makes with her body. When a woman is attracted to you, she doesn't need to say, "I like you." Her body begins to move closer before her words ever catch up. That is how attraction works at a primal level. Don't look only for dramatic gestures. Be attentive to distance. That is where the truth often lives. A woman who is drawn to you will naturally shorten the space between you, leaning in during conversation, standing slightly closer than necessary, or adjusting her position so the gap feels smaller without either of you naming it. These movements are not planned, they are instinctive. Her body is quietly saying, "I want to be here," and that matters more than any compliment. When a woman consistently chooses proximity, she is choosing connection. That choice signals comfort, trust, and curiosity all at once. She feels safe enough to be near you. She feels interested enough to stay. You must understand this clearly. Attraction is not only emotional, it is spatial. The body moves toward what feels good. That is human nature. When she shifts her chair closer, angles her body toward you, or leans in when you speak, she is creating a shared space where attention flows more easily. This is not accidental. Even when she isn't consciously aware of it, her instincts are guiding her closer because something about your presence feels right. That is why physical proximity is such a powerful signal. It bypasses words entirely and speaks directly through behavior. Watch how she responds when you move. A woman who is interested will often mirror your positioning to maintain closeness. If you lean back, she subtly adjusts forward. If you shift to the side, she follows just enough to keep the connection intact. This mirroring is not mimicry, it is alignment. Her body is syncing with yours. That synchronization creates a quiet sense of chemistry that both of you can feel but may not immediately name. Be calm when you notice this. Don't rush, don't test it aggressively. Just observe. That is how a high-value man moves. He notices patterns instead of chasing reactions. He lets attraction reveal itself rather than forcing it into the open. There is also a balance to how she closes distance. She doesn't crowd you. She doesn't invade your space. She stays close enough to feel connected, yet far enough to keep things comfortable and natural. This balance is important. It keeps the interaction playful rather than tense. It allows intimacy to grow without pressure. That subtle dance of space creates anticipation. It creates warmth, and it invites you to stay present in the moment instead of jumping ahead mentally. Don't break that rhythm by overanalyzing. Be grounded. Be relaxed. Let the moment breathe. Physical proximity becomes even more meaningful when it pairs with other signals. When she smiles while leaning in, when she laughs and stays close instead of pulling away, when eye contact deepens as the distance narrows. These cues amplify each other. A small movement closer combined with a genuine smile carries more weight than a long conversation filled with empty words. Sometimes she may add light, casual touches, a brief brush against your arm, a playful tap on the shoulder, a gentle guiding motion as you move through a space together. These gestures are rarely random. They are low-risk ways for her to test closeness while maintaining comfort, and they often happen without conscious planning. Her body leads, her mind follows. Context matters here. Proximity in a crowded room tells a different story than proximity in a quiet setting. In social environments filled with options, a woman who repeatedly positions herself near you is making a choice. She could stand anywhere. She could talk to anyone. Yet she finds her way back into your space. She adjusts her seat. She lingers nearby. She crosses paths more than coincidence would explain. That consistency is the signal. Attraction shows up in repetition. Not once, not randomly, but again and again. Pay attention to patterns, not isolated moments. That is how you read body language accurately. This is where masculine energy plays a quiet but critical role. A grounded, calm presence makes proximity feel safe and inviting. When you are centered in yourself, not seeking validation, not forcing outcomes, women feel more at ease moving closer. Masculine energy is not loud, it is steady. It creates a container where attraction can grow naturally. Don't rush to label her behavior. Don't immediately act on every signal. Hold your posture, hold your composure. That calm awareness is what allows you to attract women without trying to impress them. Physical proximity also taps into something deeply primal. Humans are wired to associate closeness with intimacy and trust. When someone chooses to be near us, our nervous system registers that as interest. When a woman repeatedly closes the distance, she is signaling that your presence feels good to her body, not just her mind. That is powerful, that is real, and it is one of the most honest indicators of attraction because it is hard to fake over time. Words can be chosen carefully, bodies are more truthful. As a high-value man, your role is not to chase these signals, but to recognize them and respond with clarity. Don't lean away out of fear. Don't rush forward out of excitement. Stay grounded. Let her meet you in the middle. That balance creates mutual respect. It keeps the dynamic clean and confident. Attraction grows best when both people feel free rather than pushed. This is how you attract women who are genuinely interested, not just momentarily curious. Over time, consistent proximity creates shared energy. Conversations flow easier. Silences feel comfortable rather than awkward. Chemistry builds without effort. That is the environment where attraction deepens naturally. Not through tricks, not through lines, but through presence. Masculine energy shows up in how you hold space, how you stay relaxed, how you allow connection to unfold without rushing the outcome. When a woman chooses to be close to you again and again, she is already participating in that unfolding. So don't overlook physical proximity. Don't dismiss it as coincidence. Be observant, be patient, be grounded. That is how a high-value man reads attraction accurately. That is how you attract women who feel aligned with you. And that is how masculine energy quietly does its work, without force, without pressure, and without confusion. 6. Open body language. Open body language is the clearest signal of attraction you will ever see, and once you train your eye to recognize it, you stop living in confusion and start operating with certainty, because the body reveals intention long before words ever catch up. When a woman is genuinely interested, her posture opens without effort, without strategy, without conscious thought, because attraction relaxes the nervous system and pulls the body forward toward what feels rewarding. Her arms are not folded, her shoulders are not tense, her torso faces you, her feet angle toward you. These are not small details. These are decisions made by the subconscious. The body moves toward comfort, safety, and interest, and it turns away from boredom or resistance. Words can be filtered, behavior can be managed, but posture leaks truth. This is where psychology becomes practical, and where Old Stoic wisdom teaches you to observe reality instead of chasing illusion. The disciplined man watches what is happening, not what he hopes is happening. Open body language tells you she is present. Presence is attraction made visible. In modern life, where attention is fragmented by phones, stress, and endless noise, presence is rare, and when a woman gives it to you physically, it matters. When she leans slightly toward you while you speak, when her hands remain visible instead of tucked away, when her movements stay fluid instead of guarded, she is signaling ease, and ease is the foundation of connection. This is not about tricks. This is about awareness. Marcus Aurelius wrote that clarity comes from seeing things as they are, not as we wish them to be. And this principle applies directly here. You do not need to impress. You do not need to rush. You need to notice. Open posture is an invitation, not a guarantee, and the man with an iron mind understands that invitations are met with calm confidence, not urgency. Her body orientation matters more than her compliments. If she turns her shoulders toward you, if her knees and feet remain aligned with yours, even in a group setting, if she adjusts her position to stay within your space, she is choosing engagement. Choice is attraction. This is where many men fail, because they look for dramatic signs instead of consistent ones. They wait for bold gestures and miss the quiet alignment happening right in front of them. Stoicism win is not about dominance or control. It is about mastery of perception. When you see clearly, you act clearly. Open body language also creates mirroring. When she begins to subtly reflect your movements, your posture, your pace, it is not imitation for approval, it is synchronization. Humans mirror what they feel connected to. This alignment creates flow. Conversations feel easier. Silence feels comfortable instead of awkward. Time compresses. These are not accidents. They are biological responses to rapport. The experienced man understands that when mirroring appears alongside openness, something real is forming. But experience also teaches restraint. You do not force momentum, you allow it. Seneca said that power comes from self-command, and self-command means staying steady when opportunity presents itself. Modern dating rewards men who can stay grounded when signals appear, not men who panic or overperform. When her posture remains open, when barriers like crossed arms or turned shoulders never appear, when she keeps her space available rather than shielding herself, she is communicating trust. Trust precedes desire. Trust allows attraction to deepen. This is why open body language is more reliable than flirtatious words or playful teasing. The absence of defensive gestures often says more than any compliment. Defensive posture protects. Open posture invites. The difference is unmistakable once you learn to see it. In social settings, notice how she positions herself. Does she angle her body to keep you in her line of sight? Does she rotate toward you even when others are speaking? Does she lean forward when you talk and relax back only when the moment settles? These micro adjustments reveal priority. Priority is attraction expressed quietly. This is Old Stoic wisdom applied to modern interaction. You observe patterns, not moments. One gesture means little. Consistent openness means something. And when you recognize it, your response must match the energy. Speak slower. Lower your voice slightly. Hold eye contact without staring. Let pauses exist. Calm presence amplifies attraction more than clever words ever will. Iron mind means emotional control. You are not thrown off balance by signals. You are not chasing validation. You are responding with intention. Open body language also makes other cues clearer. Smiles linger longer. Eye contact softens. Proximity increases naturally. When the body opens, connection becomes easier because resistance is gone. Your role is not to push through a closed door, but to walk confidently through an open one. Many men sabotage themselves here by doubting what they see or rushing ahead without reading the room. The disciplined man trusts observation over impulse. He knows that attraction grows best when pressure stays low and clarity stays high. This is Stoicism when lived out in real time. You stay centered, you stay observant, you stay respectful of the moment. In a world that encourages overthinking and constant performance, the man who understands body language simplifies everything. He stops guessing. He stops misreading interest. He stops investing energy where openness does not exist. He conserves his attention. He chooses wisely. This is mastery. Open body language is not a promise of outcome. It is a green light to engage with confidence and composure. When you respond correctly, attraction deepens naturally. When you overreact, it collapses. That is why emotional discipline matters more than charm. The body has spoken. Your job is to listen and act with quiet authority. This approach does not just improve dating, it improves life. You become more perceptive in conversations, more grounded in social situations, more confident without needing approval. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that freedom comes from understanding what is within your control, and what is within your control is your attention, your reactions, and your presence. Open body language gives you information. Iron mind gives you stability. Stoicism win gives you direction. When these combine, you stop reacting to life and start directing yourself through it. You move with certainty. You speak with intention. You engage without fear. And that calm, steady energy is what people are drawn to long before they ever say a word. If you're still watching, you're no longer guessing, you're seeing. Most men miss these signals and stay stuck in doubt, but you've just learned how attraction shows itself before a single word is spoken. This is the moment where awareness turns into control, where observation turns into confidence. Don't let this insight fade. Lock it in. Comment this sentence below and make it real. I recognize attraction through calm observation, and I move with certainty. 7. Subtle touching, light accidental contact. When attraction is real, it rarely announces itself loudly. It whispers. One of the clearest whispers is subtle touching, the kind that feels almost accidental but never truly is. When a woman feels drawn to you, her body often moves before her words catch up, and she looks for small, low-risk moments to cross the invisible line of space between you and her. This can show up as a light touch on your arm while she's making a point, a brief brush of hands that lingers half a second longer than necessary, a playful nudge, or an excuse to straighten your sleeve or adjust your jacket. These moments matter because they are not random. They are signals shaped by female psychology, guided by instinct rather than strategy, and backed by something powerful happening beneath the surface. Touch, even in its lightest form, releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, creating comfort, trust, and emotional warmth before either person consciously realizes what's happening. That is why these touches feel natural when attraction is present. They don't feel planned, they don't feel awkward, they feel like they belong in the moment. Don't ignore this. Don't rush past it. Be aware. When a woman touches you lightly and naturally, she is testing connection in the safest way possible. She's observing how you respond, not just physically, but emotionally. You must understand this is not about bold moves or grabbing attention. It's about emotional calibration. Many men miss this sign because they expect attraction to look dramatic, but psychology tricks show us that real interest often starts quietly. Subtlety lowers risk. If the touch is brief, relaxed, and paired with eye contact, open posture, or a soft smile, it's rarely meaningless. That is her nervous system saying, "This feels good. This feels safe." Be present enough to notice it without turning it into pressure. Don't freeze. Don't overreact. Stay grounded. Respond by staying relaxed, maintaining the flow of conversation, and allowing the moment to exist naturally. That calm response signals emotional security, and emotional security is central to how to fall in love, especially later in life when peace matters more than intensity. Subtle touching often repeats. One touch can be coincidence. Two or three, spaced naturally through a conversation, form a pattern. Patterns are the language of attraction. Pay attention to where the touch lands, the arm, the shoulder, the hand. These areas are socially acceptable, yet still intimate. This isn't about crossing boundaries, it's about gently testing them. Psychology tricks reveal that as attraction grows, touches become slightly more frequent or linger just a bit longer. Not enough to cause discomfort, but enough to create familiarity. Familiarity builds emotional momentum, and emotional momentum is far more powerful than clever lines or exaggerated gestures. Don't confuse subtle touching with friendliness alone. Context matters, tone matters, timing matters. If the touch happens during laughter, shared stories, or moments of connection, it's rarely accidental. Be steady, be respectful, let her set the pace. That patience is attractive because it reflects confidence without pressure. Female psychology responds to men who can read the moment without trying to control it. You must also understand that subtle touch is often an invitation, not a demand. It's an opening, not a guarantee. Your role is not to escalate immediately, but to hold the space with ease. When you do, you create emotional safety. And emotional safety is where attraction deepens into something meaningful. This is one of those psychology tricks that works because it isn't a trick at all. It's human nature expressing itself quietly. When you notice these signals and respond with calm presence, you align yourself with how to fall in love naturally, without games or pressure. Attraction doesn't rush, it unfolds. And subtle touching is often the first gentle step in that unfolding, a silent message that speaks long before words ever do. Hey, my friend, thanks for staying with me till the end. Before you go, remember this. Attraction is rarely about big moves or fancy tricks. It lives in the quiet moments. The eye contact she holds just a bit longer, the way her body turns toward you, how she naturally mirrors your energy, and how comfortable she feels being close. When those signs come together, they're not accidents, they're signals. So here's my honest advice. Don't rush, don't overthink, and don't force anything. Stay present. Pay attention. If you feel that openness and warmth, respond with calm confidence and genuine interest. Real connection grows when you're relaxed, aware, and true to yourself. If this helped you see attraction more clearly, keep observing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep being real. I'll see you in the next video.